Well, they're calling it Malware Monday because it's sort of complicated, but the FBI took down a hacking ring a year ago, and that led to internet problems for at least what's looking like thousands of people, which is actually a pretty good result, as it could have been hundreds of thousands. Let's go to Daniel Lipman now in Washington. Daniel, good morning. Tell us, how did an FBI case bringing down a hacking ring, I think in Estonia, lead to some people waking up this morning without internet connections?
What happened was in November, the FBI shut down this Estonian ring, and which was harming internet users by hacking into their DNS servers, which allows them to access websites. And so the FBI put in legitimate servers, and in November, and they ran until last night. And so they shut those down. And so for users who hadn't fixed their computers and removed the malware, they lost internet connection today.
So Daniel, what's the sign now? Does this seem to have been, almost 8 hours after those servers went down? Is it a pretty contained problem?
It seems to be that it could have been much worse. Most of the users who were affected by this removed the malware from their computers. So it seems to be only a few thousand of users in the U.S. lost internet, but in countries around the world, some people did lose internet, but 4 million people, the FBI estimates, had this malware on their computers at the height of this, but they reduced that number greatly by using internet service providers to contact their customers to make sure that this threat was contained.
Now, Daniel, you mentioned the internet service providers, people like Verizon or AT&T or Comcast. Were they working with their customers to try and, make this as small a problem as possible?
Yeah, they contacted customers who they suspected had this malware on their system, and they urged them to remove it. It was pretty easy to remove, and so they emailed customers, they called them, they put in-browser warnings to let them know to take this off. So they've been working proactively on making sure that most of their customers won't experience a disruption today.
All right, what if a customer did? Let's say my mom calls me up in a little while and says, I can't get on the internet. What should I tell her to do?
You should tell her to call her internet provider, so Verizon or AT&T and Comcast, and they can have a professional technician remove the malware, and it should only take a few minutes. So, or you can, for today, if you can use your iPhone or BlackBerry to access the internet, but that's not the best solution long term.
Yeah, I don't know if my mom has an iPhone she'll be accessing. All right, Daniel, one last thing for us quickly. If you could just explain also, why is this malware, even though it seems to be a relatively small problem, why are some security experts seeing this as what could be the first step in a bigger threat to the overall internet?
What they're seeing is that cyber criminals around the world are increasingly using this domain name system hacking to lure users to install the malware, and essentially they're making money off this because they're having false advertising, and they're faking users into clicking on bad websites to make money off them. So this could have been much worse, but this is kind of a wake-up call to the public, saying that they have to make sure that some of these things are taken care of in the future.